Live. How's it going?
First time in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
we haven't drank beer for a while. Why did we not do it last week? I can't remember.
Somebody bailed.
Nobody remembers.
Yeah, I have a vague memory of not remembering why I bailed. That's okay. I had a good time. So today we're drinking beer. Alan and Dave and Locke. I don't know what's going on with Locke. He's not around at the moment. But Dave is drinking something, and Alan, you're drinking the same thing. So tell the folks what you're drinking.
Go ahead, Dave.
All right. We got us a Raymond's Brewing Dry Irish Stout. That just sounded really interesting.
You know what I heard when I was not looking at the screen, and I heard Raymond's Brewing. Like, who's
Raymond's Brewing?
Everybody loves Raymond.
Peanut Gallery. Here you go.
That's what he moved into.
So Raven's Brewing is a dry Irish stout. Now, why did you pick this one? What attracted you to the that particular beer?
Well, I like me a stout.
Yeah,
I think it's one of my favorite types of beer. And look at that. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
Look at that head. That head's impressive.
That's like that consistency of oil, which is the best thing about a stout.
It smells really good too. I mean, it's got that stouty kind of smell. You know, it's sweet, kind of molasses.
Yep, it's absolutely awesome. Oh, and BT Dubs, second place, Irish Scottish Ales BC Beer Awards 2016.
Oh, really? Wow. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah, not bad, eh? Second place. So yeah, and I had never actually seen a dry stout before.
I have.
Okay, well, again, not a real beer drinker, so the breadth of experience is not there. So for me, this was interesting and different.
Interesting and different.
Both.
Now I have to say, something like Ravens is like, they're awesome. I mean, we've done a few beers from Ravens, and they've never failed us. Like, everything has been super duper, right? Like, can you guys think of anything that we've had from Ravens that, you know, was unsatisfactory?
I don't think so.
No, I can't.
No, I can't think of any. I can't.
No, I mean, they've been a winner every single time. They are a brewery, one of the few breweries that I actually trust to put out a product that I'm going to like. Unlike some other breweries where it's kind of hit and miss.
Well,
I'm enjoying this a lot.
Speaking of missing, I happen to be in my more local boozeteria tonight, and I was hoping for some Crooked or Tooth, actually, but the dude said they had just sold out and they were waiting for some more. But anyways,
I'm so glad I bought mine last week.
Well, I bought some. I've had some, but interestingly, my lady is all like, "We need to have some more of this." She tasted it, and she's not a beer girl at all, but she's like, "We need more of this." So, there you go, non-beer drinkers. This is where you can start.
So she likes the barrel aged stuff
because damn, it's good. Well, I think I've had one or two barrel aged though that we've done on the show, and I was like, not really what I'm hoping for. But the Crooked or Tooth, it's beautiful. I love that one. But I actually, my point was not even that, to be truthful. It was I spotted a stack of the VI Brewing Herminator 2019 vintage icebox stuff.
Nice.
Oh, so did you?
I did.
It's not supposed to be out till tomorrow.
Oh, well, they threw it out on the floor today. Yep.
You should have picked some up if you hadn't.
Well,
let's talk about that a little bit later. Shane, Boom.
Yes.
What are you drinking there, bud?
All right, so today I am drinking. I bought this entirely, I think last week before. Hopefully the can will stick around. It's Three Kingdoms Beer Co.'s Hazy IPA. Three Kingdoms Beer Company is one of those breweries that it's basically somebody who has a recipe and they partner with another company to actually do the brewing. And so they don't necessarily have a brewery; they just use other people's facilities. This is a partnership with Dogwood Brewing, who's down in the South Vancouver area, sort of along the river. And this is one of their beers that's more recent, from what I understand, according to the website. And their hazy IPA is very aromatic. It does have a lighter color to it. You can't really tell in the camera, but it is more like, if I were to guess this at a distance, I would guess it was a Pilsner, because the haziness is definitely very light for a hazy IPA. But overall, very aromatic. And that mouthfeel is very much a light IPA. It doesn't have that kick that, say, Fat Tug does, but I don't mind it. It's quite good. I fully support this particular one. And I'm very pleased that, there's another brewery that I think has. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that if you notice, the panda has that sort of Asian influence hat kind of thing.
Mhm.
And the company refers to themselves as beer with an Asian twist. So all of their beer have some sort of thing. If I bring up their website here, like, for example, their Hefeweizen is called what is it called? I can't even tell. The rabbit something. Hang on. Stupid age. Where are my glasses? I can't even read their image on their stupid website. The rich rabbit Hefeweizen. Then the next is a honey Kolsch, which is a just called that. It has a honey bear on it. And the
That sounds nice.
beer is called the chocolate milk stout, which has a really amazing image of a bull who looks like he's trying to pee into a jar. I don't know. And then a Ninja Panda, which is a West Coast IPA, and this, of course, is their hazy, which is the other panda. So again, so Dogwood assists them in brewing it, and then they have it canned, and then they hit their labels on it, and away they go. Similar to who makes Rad Seeker beer, which is another favorite.
Is that Boombox?
I think it is Boombox. That does remind me, but basically, yeah, Boombox. I gathered from what I remember, digging back into memory on this a few years ago, Boombox started out as doing exactly what Three Kingdoms is doing, where they were self-brewing and then having stuff canned separately. So I think Boombox does have its own location now. I've also learned that the building behind, so where am I facing this way? So in that direction, there's a building that is been scheduled for demolition and a new 9-story sort of thing being built. And the first 2 floors are reserved for a commercial brewery. So in theory, I could have another brewery even closer than Red Truck by distance. And so my liver is going to have to be cast in titanium in order for me to survive living here. So exactly. I may as well do it now. And why do you need to be out? Oh, no reason. No, I'm just preparing for the future. I mean, by the time our body parts need to be replaced, they'll either be cyborg or grown in a lab or something. So,
3D printed.
Yeah, pretty much. Give it another 30. Give it another 30 years when we're really going to need them. Yeah, 3D printing will have advanced to that point. So overall, these beers that we have this evening from Three Kingdoms Brewery, the Hazy IPA, and the Ravens Brewing Dry Irish Stout. Oh, by the way, I voted And I went to the voting booth yesterday with this on, and the nice lady that took my ballot said, "I really love your mask." And then I went to the liquor store. But so there you go. Overall, beers are thumbs up this week. And by the way, Alan, you sent an article in the back channel that we really should talk about. It's very important, and it's the story where. Well, I'll let you tell it. Go ahead.
I'm live. You guys hear me?
Sort of, kind of. Try
Maybe
again.
you guys.
Okay, well, the story you sent the other day was all about the sad thing about the lack of the Herminator Ice Bock being made by Vancouver Island Brewing this particular year. But then the vintage release. Now, I want to know, this is actually what I want to talk about. What do they mean vintage release? Where did this come from? Like, is this like a stockpile of 2019 beer they had sitting around doing nothing?
Yep.
That's a fair question.
Why were we not like breaking into this facility and stealing it? I mean, if it's been sitting around doing nothing, or is the Herminator actually a beer that sits around for a little bit of time to age inside the can or bottle? Like, is that how it is? I was shocked to read this. Like, I didn't know. I want to know the answers. I demand the truth. I'm entitled. Why is there Icebox being stored somewhere in this province that's not being shared and not being given to us? Just give it to us. We don't even pay for it. Just give it to us. If you can't sell it, just give it away. Alan's dead. He blinked in a way where
still like
here, I'll do it for you, Dave. Here you go, Dave. So this is what I saw on the camera. And it reminded me right away of the scene at the beginning of Indiana Jones. Sorry, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. The student that has "Love You" written on her eyelids.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one now. Yeah.
So that was important to remember. But the other story tonight that I think you and I should weigh in on is Winnipeg Brewers are dumping a disgusting amount of beer down the drain.
I saw that headline. What the hell is the deal?
Okay, well, because of the closure of these establishments, because they are being told you cannot open because of COVID, we have to ask you not to open up. So they have kegs and kegs of beer that they're having to dump down the drain because they can't sell it and it's going to go bad. So what can you do? So let's all weigh in on the dumping of beer down the drain without even a chance to us drinking it. Alan, of course, is dead again. This show is high quality. Did we ever mention that? Our quality is like number one.
Oh, we're freaking pro, baby.
But
thousands of dollars of equipment per man.
Is this a smart idea? Like, okay, now tongue in cheek, of course, dumping beer is not really a crisis. It's not really a huge thing. For some people, it would be. But do you think that the COVID measures we currently are living with are acceptable? Are they something that we should be fighting and rising against, or is it something that we should be sitting down, giving it some serious thought, and going, these are reasonable. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be amazing, but we can do it. So, Alan, if you can hear me, COVID dumping of beer, COVID caused beer dumping, good or bad? Yeah. Okay. It's a bad thing, but is it a reasonable thing considering that we're currently, I heard today that we're leaving a second wave and entering a third. Is this correct?
No.
No? Okay. This is what I was reading today, and I was a little confused by it myself, so I didn't quite understand what the hell that all meant. But you know, what can you do? So for the dumping of beer, it's a bad thing, but you would say it's a reasonable step, Dave?
I don't know. See, how do you
Okay,
make
not
an
the actual
intelligent?
dumping of beer. It's the closure of these establishments that have to dump the beer.
Yeah. Okay. So what you say in establishments? Are we talking pubs and stuff?
Pubs, some
Bars.
nano breweries, that kind of
Pubs,
stuff.
bars, yeah.
They're basically, from what I understand, Alberta and Manitoba are, and Saskatchewan as well, are having an uptick in COVID cases and are not quite sure what to do
Everybody
with
is.
themselves. Well, everybody is, yes, true. But BC, I think, from the west side of the Ontario border, is doing apparently the best of the bunch. Not perfect, of course, still rising,
No.
but we are apparently faring better than they are. So we haven't closed bars here, as far as I'm aware. They're still open as long as they're playing by the rules.
They have
But,
to stop selling liquor by 10 o'clock.
Which has been happening for a while. That is not a new thing. The beer source, the Red Truck Brewery across the street has been abiding by the rules. They went over and above, I think, for a lot of it. Actually, I gotta ask you guys this. I ran into somebody at the pub that I kind of know, but not really. But it was one of those things. I went across the Red Truck, I think, last week, and they were there, and they said, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in a like years had gone by." And it was that moment of like you're looking at them going, "Yeah, totally haven't seen you forever," and you're struggling to figure out who the hell is this person. I don't even remember where you're from. But turned out we did some theater together a little while back, and but basically. The thing that they said during our conversation was that they are giving fake numbers to the bars when they go into them, and they ask for your phone number for contact tracing, and they're giving a fake number. What is your guys' attitude about that?
I don't really understand what.
They're if you go into a pub, the pubs that are following the rules say, "Hi, what is your name? Thank you for being here. Do you have a phone number we can get a hold of you at if there's ever an exposure problem at this location?" And they're giving fake numbers, which I think is because they're doing this based on the idea that they are protecting their privacy or some bullshit. But my attitude is that that's a stupid idea and that puts other people in danger. So, Dave, Alan, thoughts?
I could see that. Both.
Both what?
I mean, there's a lot of kind of worry and maybe even paranoia, right, about privacy these days. And so I can see some people being like, hell no. I don't know. I have gone to places where they've asked for the phone number and I just gave a number.
Gave your number or just
whatever?
A number?
No, gave him a number.
Yeah.
Legit. Yeah. I would imagine that these guys are just shredding the paper after, X amount of time. And it's just me. Who gives a shit? I'm not that important in the grand scheme of anything. So why would anybody want my number particularly? That's
Right.
kind of where I'm coming from. But I get it too. Like some people are maybe in a position where it does actually matter more. So giving out their legit number might be maybe more problematic. I don't know. But
yeah, okay, but here's the thing: it wasn't that they were concerned about whether or not somebody could phone them. I mean, this is the deal. We're in a situation where there's context to it. It's not like you just walk into a bar and the bar is like, "Give me your number." Like, when does that ever happen?
No, totally.
There's a particular reason for it, and I don't think it's unreasonable in this case for people to provide a phone number so that if something does happen, so that if something does occur and somebody is at that location, an employee or somebody comes in, doesn't know they're ill, and then later on finds out they've been carrying the virus. I don't think it's unreasonable for you to say, "Yeah, here's my number, no problem." Because if something happens, I fucking want to know. if you call me or the health officials call me, I don't care who calls me, as long as they let me know, so that I know that I can do whatever I need to do in order to not spread it around. And because I mean, I'm living my life, they're living their life, and like for example, I'm going to go and visit people next week. If I go to the pub tonight and there's a problem and they call me in a few days, and then I can make that decision of like, oh, then I better not go visit those people because they're in their 70s. I don't want to infect them. I don't know if I'm infected, if I'm feeling okay, or maybe suddenly I'll start feeling horrible, and I'll be like, yeah, this is not a cold, it's not a flu, it's not allergies. There's something else going on. And I mean, the moment that I do this, hey guys, I like being on this podcast. I can't smell the beer. Oh my god, guys, I can't smell the beer. Then I'll really know that I'm up shit creek. So, I mean, that's the symptom I think that most people should be looking for. Is I gather that's probably the most common, supposedly, that you will lose your sense of smell and taste, but sense of smell is apparently the most notable. So yeah, I kind of want to know if there's ever a problem. So, but I think it is silly that people are providing fake information just because they're in this idea that their privacy is going to be violated. And I'm like, if I find out that I get COVID from some asshole that says I'm not giving out my phone number, I'm going to hunt you down and beat you dead like a dog in a ditch. And then you'll find out just how much privacy is important. What's in this beer? But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? I'd be very cross with somebody if they did that and, possibly caused additional people to become ill. So because we're dealing with a disease, I mean, Alan, you know more than this better than anybody. It's something that some people get really sick and some people don't. They kind of go, I'm fine. And then find out weeks later, it's like, yeah, no, dude, you had COVID, man. What? Really? Wow. Good on my immune system, but oh God, where have I been?
Yeah.
So yeah. By the way, everyone,
you're absolutely right. And
David's phone number is for a good time.
Well, and here's the thing and this happened here in town. It was at a Boston Pizza, not at a bar, where the people had to put down their phone number for the the COVID
contact
thing.
Stuff, yeah.
And they put down a fake phone number. And what they did is they dined and dashed. So then they went to go to do the phone number to phone them and say, hey, look, you dined and dashed. And of course it was the wrong phone number. And it was like a group of I don't know, 6 people at a Boston Pizza in Langford did that.
That's awful.
It is. It truly
Restaurants are suffering. Bars are suffering. Everybody is suffering. By the way, just to interject here really quickly, we had a tragedy in town today where a building that housed a antique / record store called Dandelion Records, if I remember correctly, and Frenchie's, which was a poutineery / beef dip kind of French-inspired restaurant, burned down today. And it was a store shop front away from my favorite place in the world, Pulp Fiction Books. So nobody was hurt. Everything went as reasonably well as you can when 3 fire trucks are soaking down your block. But there some people lost their business, and they are eventually they're soon going to be requesting financial help from the public because this is happening during COVID. They've been suffering already because they've got to limit their exposure, limit their people coming to the store, that kind of stuff. So that happened all day today, and I was watching out of the corner of my eye on Twitter, just following along with what was happening. So,
Jeez. How's Pulp Fiction?
they survived unscathed. They actually were
Wow.
helping the neighbors bring stuff into their location. They did say they were, by the end of the day, around 4 or 5 o'clock, they did tweet out that saying, "Hey, we're still open. Not going to have as many people in the store because we have a lot of records in our store right now as well. Apparently, we're in the aisleways, so they're going to have to limit, even reduce the number of people in the store at a time." So, but anyway, and also I visited Brewery Creek, only allowing 4 people in the liquor store at a time.
Wow.
4.
I'll be back in a sec.
So here's the business suffering, and hopefully, not suffering for too much longer. And now I'm the only one here because Dave ran away and Alan went away in a digital format. So I certainly hope I can carry the show by entertaining the masses. Oh, good. Alan's back.
Well, I never left.
Okay, good. Well, you were frozen. I didn't hear anything. So,
all right.
Although I will,
I'm watching my network
I'm having
connection.
Fun.
I'm watching my network connection go from 0 up to 10, and then back down to 0, and then up to 10, and blah blah. It's like a yo-yo. So anyway, it's 6 out of 10 right now. So I could talk for a little bit here. Guess who's calling TELUS tomorrow to get a new modem?
Exactly.
So I never really got to weigh in on the whole Vancouver Island Brewing Herminator thing. So it's kind of interesting that, I mean, because they made their batch of Herminators for this year, and then they've decided not to release them. They're going to dump them, I assume, because they don't meet their. What do you think of that? Like, do you appreciate them for doing that? I mean, let's face it, Herminator is something that we look forward to each and every year. How bad could it have been? Like, I want to know what happened. I want to be able to sample one of these ones that they say doesn't meet their standards. Because frankly, and I don't want to put down Vancouver Island Brewing because I do like Vancouver Island Brewing, but they have made some beers in recent years, and I'll name one, the Nanaimo Bar Porter, which really shouldn't have met standards, in my opinion. So their standards seem kind of low.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? Is that the Herminator, for example? I mean, if put it this way, I trust them after their acquisition, and they had the new formulations, all that kind of stuff from a couple of years back. I trust their judgment. If they feel that it's not going to be up to snuff, then I'm good. I'm good with that decision, because if they are going to make that call, they could recoup it by releasing a batch, a batch that says, "Hey, we messed up. Have the messed up version, but call it something like Herminator Ice Buck, the crap edition, or the not so great edition, or not up to our standards edition." I mean, to me, that would be totally worth it. Why not?
I mean, for them to not meet their standards, for them to resort to pitching it, it would be bad.
It's true. It's very true. I mean, I don't know what to say other than I hope they do eventually release it.
I don't think so.
But I think you're right. I think they're probably just going to end up dumping it. I mean, that's. I'm looking at Vancouver Island Brewery's website for some info, but there's nothing here that I could see anyway that's obvious anyway. But what can you do?
So my network connection is back down to 1 out of 10. I'm going to stay quiet now.
Yeah. So I think overall, I mean, in beer news, there hasn't been a whole lot going on. I think the next thing we're going to start hearing about is I'm hoping, knock on wood, that we actually get some sort of Christmassy stuff again. And by Christmassy, I mean the snow pack, the whatever pack, Christmas Advent calendar. Because, Alan, we've been doing the Advent calendar since 2016. Is that right? Or no, it's longer than that. Or 2015?
No,
I can't remember. But it's been a while.
maybe.
And I really want to do it again this year. So if we don't get a chance to buy a preordained pack of beer, perhaps we're going to have to make our own. And
It's possible.
I question how many holiday seasonals we're going to see this year. I mean, as far as I'm aware, beer brewing hasn't been affected as in the process of it, with maybe the exception of the Herminator. But because
I kind of wonder.
And less sales, you'd think they might be not as inclined.
I wonder if the Greater Victoria or the Great Canadian Beer Festival is going to release an advent calendar of sorts, featuring beers that they may have featured at the show this year that didn't happen. They did say they're coming up with some sort of an alternative. So I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be like a 24 pack kind of thing with various beers from around BC.
You're right. I had not thought of that.
I'm only speculating. But I would totally go for that. And if that's what I'm getting it.
Well, hey, I fully support that. I mean, I haven't thought about it for a while from that perspective. Sorry. Yeah, so that's actually okay. I fully think that. Dave, now you're not the Christmas Advent calendar kind of guy. Where you punish your liver for 24 days.
The beer involved. Whew.
What kind of Adventy calendar stuff have you done in the last 20 years? Like, are you any kind of Advent calendar? We're talking like
years?
whiskeys or gins or chocolate from the local Shoppers Drug Mart or what? That's the thing. That's the thing.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Totally fair. Absolutely. Last 20 years. No, I think I have to go back to childhood because, of course, we did. We did the classic pop open the little perforated doors and you get your chocolates there. But yeah, it kind of makes me think, like, just for shits and giggles, I want to do one this year.
You should. I mean, as adults, this is actually when we started doing the Advent calendar back in whenever it was. The one thing that I found very interesting is that you don't, as an adult, there are times where you forget that you have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want. And one of those freedoms is I'm going to do something completely ridiculous with an Advent calendar. I'm going to have one this year. And, the beer one kind of started off or woke me up to this hidden world of Advent calendars. The people do wine, people do ciders, people do whiskeys, people do, but not just alcohol. They do other things too. Like,
for Dave, I would recommend, I don't know where you could find one, but I'm sure there must be one out there, one with leopard print thongs for guys.
Yeah, I
think Dave would like
honest, that is going to be a Dave. I mean, here's the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Dave, if you do that this year, you're going to have to provide us with photographs every day.
Picture it didn't happen.
Your leopard See, now I'm going to look it up. Amazon.com.
All right.
Let's see.
Leopard
Let's go with
thong. Advent
Undies day.
Leopard. There we go. Oh, here we go. Leopard print thong. Hey!
Seriously?
Who knew? Holy hell! Let me stick to male only. Sorry, there's the women are getting mixed in here. I think we can make this happen.
We're
We
incorrigible.
can make this happen, Alan. Let's do this. Dave, you're gonna have to wear the tops too. Hey, here we go. Leopard print G-strings for men.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Complete with hot men's G-string thong. It is a leopard print waistband with a
Waistband or elastic band?
it's hard to tell. It looks like there's a shoelace that runs up the butt crack, which is then attached to a small pouch that is the leopard print. And I'm buying this for you, Dave. Here we go. Oh yeah,
I expect to see it in the mail next week.
We want to see it modeled
Yeah, no, I want to see photos. You gotta have some
live
photos.
on the show. That's it.
Live on the show.
All right.
Live stream you dancing around and
The beer won't get us viewers,
here we go.
but you and a leopard print tongue will.
And I think you could throw in a little zebra and some snake skin.
Somebody's watching us on Twitch right now, and yeah,
And
they're
they're
probably
like, why am I here?
probably like,
I forgot why.
gotta go
Guys,
to therapy.
what's going on?
No.
But yes, there you go, Dave in a leopard print thong, and
Oh yeah.
man. So
All right, guys.
anyway,
I
on
better
that
go
note,
before my
your
internet
kicks
drops
out.
out.
But
here, so.
thank you all for watching. This show was kind of ridiculous today, but that's okay. We just a bunch of guys that hang out, drink beer, and talk about whatever the hell pops into our mind. And some people that come along and watch and join us for the ride. We really want to drink beer with you, so if you want to join, let us know in the chat what kind of beer you're drinking. Because hey, why not?
Maybe you'll give us some ideas too.
Exactly. Tell us about the beer you might find, because we really want to top the Florida Brewing or whatever Tampa Bay Brewing. I forgot exactly where they were, but they're in Florida and they make a beer called Swamp Ape, and it was the worst IPA I've ever had in my entire life. I couldn't even finish a simple bottle of beer. It was that bad. I think I maybe had like the neck and a little bit more, just trying to convince myself that I should be open to new experiences, and I regret every minute of that. So so tell us what you're drinking, because why the hell not? And so also tell people about the show, let people know. There's that social media thing you can do, and all of that other stuff, but we really thrive on word of mouth, because and apparently mail-in ballots. So there you go. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Dave. And as always, Alan, take us out. Let's do this.